Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Nathan Anderson, one of the founders and CEO of ScanTrust, a Swiss-based company. But before I get too deep into ScanTrust, I want to tell you a little bit about myself, because I think it has context to what we're going to talk about today. I'm born and raised in a small place in the US called Vermont. For those of you who don't know it, don't feel ashamed. It's very small. Our largest city is 30,000 people. But I was born and raised in a small town of 3,000, where we had farmer markets before there even farmer markets were called cool by hipsters in Brooklyn. We had our own garden. We would go buy our milk from our neighbor. We had maple syrup from our other neighbor. So you knew where your products came from, what you were buying, what you're using on a day in, day out basis. And I lived that way for the first 22 years of my life through college. Then in 2005, I moved to China. And when I moved to China, yeah, it's quite different there, I started being faced with questions about what I was buying. Real or fake medicine? Real or fake rice? And of course, alcohol. I've had many very bad hangovers from fake bottles of wine. And as I was looking to this deeper, it wasn't just a challenge that I was facing. In fact, the country as a whole was facing it. And many of you might have heard of some of the milk scandals that happened back in 2008, 2009, where fake baby milk and tainted baby nutrition came up and created tainted product, and several babies died from it. And that's why you might see the shelves in supermarkets here in Berlin, the baby milk taken by Chinese overseas travelers who were bringing it back to China. And as I started to dig deeper into this, I realized it wasn't just a problem that was happening in China. In fact, if you look globally, there's over 1 million deaths a year from fake medicine. That's fake tuberculosis, malaria, medicines. Up to 30% of the drugs, in fact, that some estimates by Interpol has put out there are fake, that are out there on the market, many of them online. And even in the US, up to 1/3 of all of the seafood products are mislabeled. So there's just a tremendous amount of uncertainty in what we're buying today, both on retail stores, what's on the shelf, say in an Aldi, or online in Amazon or Taobao. And not only this is a large problem, back in 2015 it was a $1.7 trillion problem. That's much larger than the defense budget, even in the Trump administration in the US. And that is set to grow to nearly $3.5 trillion by 2020. So why is this problem growing? And it's happening across many different industries: food and beverage, medicines, automotive, tobacco, beauty and cosmetic, information technology. Why is it growing? And this is not a new problem. It's been around for many years. And the problem is that the existing solutions on the market today are not getting the job done. It's that simple. Traditional anti-counterfeiting solutions such as holograms, serial numbers, even the barcodes and NFC, these technologies are either easy to copy or too expensive to implement. In some ways, you can increase the security by adding DNA taggants or the various different levels of security that you add to it, but that either one, again, increases the cost, or two, makes it almost impossible for the average person to authenticate because you need an expensive reader. So what we found is, in looking at this situation, is that brand owners don't have the tools to address the challenges they're facing in a very challenging supply chain. Beyond that, much of the solutions they have in place are based off of ERP systems. We've all heard the adage, data is the new oil. Well, it's great if you have data, but if you continue to build your systems around monolithic ERP systems, you're not making data central to your business. You're making ERP system basis. So we set out to solve this problem, and we started first by looking at a unique identifier. If you want to know about a product, where did it come from? Is this real? Is it fake? What's its story? You need to give it a secure, unique identifier. And what we did out of our laboratory in EPFL in Lausanne is we invented the world's first copy-proof QR code. So it is a barcode that you can put on your product or packaging. It acts as a unique identifier, but thanks to the secure graphic in the center, which you can see here that we invented, you can take out just your mobile phone, open the ScanTrust app or an app powered with our SDK, and scan this code to see if it is real or fake. This is a world's first technology. And then around this code, what we also did, we started to put data-centric. So we built a platform which manages the life cycle of this unique ID. This unique ID, a brand owner can now manage this product, see how it's moving through the supply chain, and give users personalized information when they scan that product in their mobile environment. And also are collecting that data. So you start to see where your products are going, getting intelligence on how they're moving, getting intelligence on who's using it, incredibly valuable to brand owners. So since we started in 2014, we now have dozens of clients across the world, both big, large, small. We've deployed projects in over 70 countries globally, and we have delivered over 70 million products worldwide, and we're putting tens of million products into the market every month now. We have also raised a Series A round last year, which was led by both Credit Suisse and Energy Ventures here in Germany. And we're continuing to expand our coverage globally in Europe, Asia, America, and Southeast Asia. Now, one thing that I want to announce today, not getting in depth at it, but over the last year, we've started to layer blockchain technology on top of our application layer. And in the coming months, if you guys are interested to stay tuned, feel free to reach out to me because we are now launching a new blockchain-based protocol to create a product transparency platform. Using our application layer and blockchain based on top of it, partnering with a Berlin-based company, BigChainDB. And those who are interested by that, feel free to shoot me an email because the information will be coming in a few weeks. Nathan Anderson at ScanTrust.com.
Ladies and
Thank you,
gentlemen,
Peter.
together with ScanTrust.